For most of 2022, the world's ocean basins have been relatively quiet and free of tropical cyclones. But this week, Typhoon Hinnamnor has shattered that calm, spinning up quickly to Category 5 strength in the Western Pacific Ocean. The typhoon has been making headlines. It is said to be the strongest tropical storm of this year's hurricane season. The powerful typhoon has temporarily cut power to hundreds of households in Japan. The path of this storm has been erratic, but the latest weather report suggesting that the typhoon is likely to affect mainland China, Japan, and the Korean peninsula. Taiwan is also likely to come under its sphere of influence. In Japan, trees were seen violently shaken up by the storm with fierce rainfall in Miyako Islands. Further, officials saying that the super typhoon could add to rainfall and risks of flooding in the southern region. The typhoon is expected to make landfall in South Korea's southern coast. The storm will fluctuate in intensity over the warm ocean waters of the East China Sea. South Korea has raised its typhoon alert to its highest level. And the approaching typhoon has forced flight cancellations, suspension of some business operations, and closure of schools. Heavy rain and strong wind patterns pounding the south of the country. Hinnamnor is expected to bring flooding that could be life-threatening to much of South Korea and far southwest Japan, in addition to the destructive winds. Meanwhile, in China, on Sunday, the Shanghai Meteorological Bureau upgraded its typhoon alert to yellow. That's the second lowest level. The city also dispatched 48,000 personnel to carry out wind and rain protection inspection on more than 80,000 sites. Even the railways equipped with special boxes for flood and typhoon prevention. With us on the broadcast this minute is Sven Tøvdal, a former UN director from Norway. Thanks very much for being here. What is your assessment of the situation on the ground and the link between these events and climate change, given that this is a typhoon which has been making headlines for its intensity?
Yeah, as you said, this has had impact on many countries in the region, and it is now approaching South Korea. And according to weather forecasts, this will be the most strong typhoon that we have seen there for 20 years. And I just checked the more detailed forecasts, and in some parts of South Korea, one expect up to 600 millimeters of rain in the next 24-48 hours. So this will be have a great impact, as you mentioned, flooding, damage from very strong wind, waves, etc. And the link here to climate change is, according to scientists, very clear. And the reason here is that the energy in these typhoons is temperature. So the warmer it gets, the more energy and fuel we will have into these tornadoes or hurricanes, and they will necessarily not be more of them, but they will generally be stronger because of the warming of the oceans that we see now. It's very clear.
What would you say to those who doubt that climate change is causing these extreme weather events that we are seeing in different parts of the world over the last few months?
Well, I would say that it would be very irresponsible. It would clearly be not to listen to the scientists. And I would also say that it is actually very dangerous because, say now, what they are saying is that humans have had nothing to do with these weather events. And that means that if humans have had nothing to do with it, they can't fix it either. So this is fueling those people that do not want to do something to prevent climate change. And another thing I would like to add is also that, as we see now, for instance, in Pakistan with the flooding there, they claim now, the Minister of the Environment here has said that the rich world has to pay for these damages in the poor countries that has not contributed to the climate change. And if you come in with arguments like this has nothing to do with what people have been doing, you are actually undermining poor people's fair requests to ask the rich people that also have caused climate change to pay for it. So it is something that actually is on its way out, because it's so clear now that we have extreme weather and climate change. But up to now, this kind of doubt that has been put up has been an obstacle to the climate negotiations. And as we now feel, if we had done something more before, we have not been in the situation that we have now. And if we don't stop it now, we are leaving a very, very complicated world to our grandchildren. So climate deniers should stop this denial.
So when we're leaving it there for the moment, thanks very much for being here. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.